When I was 3 years old, I was living in Topeka, Kansas, and there was a creek that ran out the backside of our house, and a bunch of us kids were around there playing, and I was actually allergic to something that was on the creek bed. So when I broke out in hives, water got trapped underneath the eyelid, and I lost my eyesight due to a parasital inflammatory infection. As I grew, the scar tissue grew with me, and it wrapped itself around the optic nerve in the retina. So as I got older, I lost more and more sight. So they really didn't know what society would have to offer me in terms of having an actual life. And because my mom was a realist, she basically told me, it's a sighted world out there and they won't accommodate you, so you need to learn how to accommodate yourself. So now I've done triathlons, I've done cycling, a couple of time trials, I've done 2 marathons. I just want to accomplish bigger goals. I don't necessarily want to be competitive, so I want to do a half Ironman this coming year, and then for my 55th birthday, I want to do a full Ironman.
So triathlon is 3 sports that so swimming, biking, and running, and they could come in any form. There's so many different distances, from a sprint, a couple 100-meter swim, to a 10-mile bike, to a 3-mile run, all the way up to an Ironman, which is basically the ultimate triathlon. It's a 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike, and a full marathon.
When I turned 50, I didn't realize how much weight I'd put on. So for Christmas, my husband and my son got me an Apple Watch. And I was sitting down a couple times and I'd hear my watch go, stand up and move for a minute. So it made me start to think about it. And I thought, I'm 4'11", I'm pushing 160. This isn't really good for my health. And by that time, I'd had my watch for about 6-7 months and I had lost 25 pounds. A good friend of mine, she told me about her friends and all the runs that they do. And I said, I would really like to get back into that. And she said, well, let's do it. And I said, well, I don't know, because at this point in time, I had lost all of my sight. So I was a little nervous and not sure how that was going to work, because it was going to be a complete trust.
Kelly trusted me, and I think that was the big thing, that she was able to trust me. We had a rough start, like literally we fell over and got a little bit scratched up, but we got through it.
I met Kelly going on a year ago now. I was training here in Memorial Park for a New York Marathon, and I happened to see a friend guiding for an individual, and and he goes, hey, come out and run with me. I have someone you may be interested in running with. They introduced me to Kelly, and we just started running together. One of our first races that we did together was, I believe, is the Sugarland Turkey Trot. And that was really fun because I got to meet her other guide, Michelle. And the funny thing was, Kelly was in the zone that day. Michelle, nothing against her, she said, slow down, slow down. Like, I can't slow Kelly down. She just kept going faster and faster. So Kelly was running like a 10-minute mile. We loved it, we enjoyed it. When we guide, we hold hands. And I don't have to pull her or tug or anything. She can feel my body just the way my hand's moving when we're turning left or right.
What's nice is when you can sit down with your guide and discuss the layout, what the course is going to look like, if you're going to go from gravel to dirt to a smooth pavement, ramps coming up. So you develop communication between the two of you. So the communication between you and your guide at first can be a lot of talking, just so you get an idea of what you need to take in versus what you don't need. And then from there, you can actually just have casual conversations, but it's all in understanding the terrain that you're going to run on.
When I'm guiding an individual, what we do, it's the communication. There's so much communication involved with Kelly, and I think any other athlete that's visually impaired. You have to be able to tell him, he or she, as you're crossing over a sidewalk, you gotta mention, you have to step up, you have to step down. You're breathing, you gotta understand you're breathing and listen to her breathing at the same time. You gotta look in a distance. If there's a dump truck coming at you, you have to let your athlete know you're gonna hear a loud noise. So don't be startled because it's a dump truck or a lawnmower coming at us, and that you're safe. She feels very comfortable with me. You gotta imagine running in a neighborhood where there's speed bumps. Don't tell your athlete that there's a speed bump. Guide your athlete down the middle of that speed bump so he or she is not thinking that there's a speed bump. If there's limbs in the road, you try to guide your athlete around those limbs. Same thing in biking. I mean, we recently did a 42-mile bike ride out in Waller on open roads. So it's not you just get on the bike and you pedal. There's a lot involved, but the communication is ongoing over and over and over. As you're riding a bike, you have to tell your athlete behind you, slight turn left or right, so your body's lean at the exact same time. I mean, it's a lot of trust. I mean, just having that trust with your athlete and having the trust with your significant other. This is the same, I think, but it's different because she's married, she's got children, and they trust me just as well. Her family trusts me to come out and run with her. There's a lot of conversations about family, friends, why do we do this? Why do I do it? I do it because I've accomplished some of my goals. I've done Ironmans, I've done 9 marathons, 3 Ironmans, multiple triathlons, and I want to give back. And when I give back, I've given back for different causes, for cancer awareness, and this is just another way for giving back to an individual, he or she, trying to reach their goals.
I realized that to get somebody else to their goal was actually a goal of mine. So that's why it's important to me. It helps me like I said, get out of bed. It helps motivate me. Being able to help somebody reach their goals is amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
This is gonna sound really lame. It's one of those things that I can sit there and say, you know what? I'm blind and I've done 2 marathons. What have you done? You know? And that's kind of where I'm really at right now, is I want to do things that, you know, not a lot of people would even give themselves the opportunity to ponder that they could do it.